Oh, hello, and welcome to Hulu's Only Murders in the Building official podcast. I am your host, Michael Cyril Creighton, and if you don't know me, you're in the wrong place. I have played Howard Morris on Only Murders since season 1. Howard is your favorite trio's fourth wheel. He's the keeper of the gossip, the lover of the animals, the sweet and sour nosy neighbor always looking for some attention. I am so thrilled I get to spend this season with you, the best fans a cozy murder show could ask for. We'll be dissecting episodes, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, and playing games with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from Season 5 of Only Murders in the Building. Now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. Today's show is all about Episode 1, Nail in the Coffin, and we are coming out of the gate swinging. We'll talk with showrunner, co-creator, and episode director John Hoffman. And if that's not enough, we've also got your favorite trio, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. That's right. Now the three of them are on my podcast where I have all the power. Let's see how they like it. But first, a quick recap of Episode 1. So if you haven't watched, stop and come back after you've seen it. Lester! Our beloved doorman Lester is dead, and the trio discover a severed finger. At Lester's wake, they search for clues, and Mabel finds a photo that reveals a possible mob connection.
When the mob offers you an opportunity, you say yes.
Mabel reviews suspicious security footage, and with Charles, stumbles into a secret gaming parlor underneath the Arconia. Oliver takes Lester's hat to the dry cleaner and finds another unfortunate victim. Well, look what the cat dragged in. It is my favorite trio and yours, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. Hello, my close personal friends.
Hello.
How are you?
Yep.
Before we get started officially, I do have a question. How do you make a successful podcast? Because this is the first episode and I am sweating and absolutely
I think
out of my depths.
you do what you're doing, and then you reverse.
Perfect, that's the answer I was looking for.
Wait, what about me?
What do you think, Steve?
Because I have a pet peeve about podcasts.
What is that?
Well, if you're at listening to a serious podcast, let's say it's maybe on science or nature or something like that, there's always like 5 minutes of this lively, supposed to be humorous chat where everybody's laughing outrageously before they get to the topic. Now that's fine for a comedy podcast like this one, but that's my little pet peeve about podcasts.
All right.
Well, are you making fun of me already?
No.
Yeah.
I
heard you.
I'm just making a mental note. Well, they do edit. Like, for example, what you just said, clipped out.
No, I'm just saying, never mind.
I'm going to get the compliments out of the way. So I've been lucky enough to be on the show with you all for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And every single person that walks on the set, every guest star, every co-star, every crew member says the same thing, that it is the nicest set to walk onto and it is the best job in New York City and the best job in showbiz. So I want to know, what is your secret?
We always go back to what we all believe in, which is being professional and on time, but also creating an atmosphere that's fun, that's light and easy, and I think that's kind of our mentality.
Also, I think we're expedient, and we know that any kind of anger, outburst, being late kind of slows down the production. And, we just like doing our job and go, well, we got it, let's move on to the next thing.
And I also think the three of us work in a similar way, which is the set should be joyful and fun.
Yeah.
And
it's a
the
comedy.
crew should be laughing, and it's a comedy. And the looser they are and the looser the room is, the better we are.
And also, I'll just add, the fish stinks from the head. And we have,
John Hoffman has the nicest smelling head there.
John Hoffman is up and happy, and I've never seen him angry or distraught.
Yeah.
And, whatever, if we're ever distraught, we keep it within and then beat each other up later.
Well, it's the best, and I'm so happy to be part of it. At the end of season 4, we knew that Lester was dead, right? And we knew that Lester's dead, Marty. I'm so sorry to tell you. Lester's dead, and there's a missing dry cleaning guy that's somehow related to the Arconia. How much about what was to come in season 5 did you know back then? Anything?
Nothing. I did not.
Absolutely.
No?
Steve, you knew more because you're co-creator.
I'm a co-creator, and you would think I'd know more. But actually, the sort of challenge of setting up a show that is unwritten, you have to have a vague idea at the end of the season and there's a murder. how it's going to come about. But really the hard work and the fun work is it's like making up a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, you say, what have we established? How can we make this all fit together?
Right.
And that's I always say, if you're a writer and you don't know where you're going, either will the audience.
And we did set up Taya Leone at the end of season 4. Yes, and we have some really amazing guest stars this season. We have Jermaine Fowler as Randall. We meet in this episode. Diane Wiest.
You know we don't do that anymore, right?
We have Diane Wiest as Lester's widow,
Unbelievable.
Rainey.
Beanie Feldstein.
Oh yeah, Keegan-Michael Key as the mayor of New York. Christoph Waltz, Logan Lerman.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an
Yes.
incredible season. What is it like for you, season after season, to welcome new cast members onto the show?
Oh, it's just such an honor that they're doing it. I looked over at one point, we were in a holding area, and there was a bunch of chairs, and I think I counted 9 Oscars. Really?
Yeah.
Because Meryl was there 3, Renee 2, Christoph 2,
Yeah.
Diane Wiest 2,
Yeah.
Steve an honorary, you know.
Dave Vine.
Just what I thought I was going to get a
Dave
little
Vine.
glory.
Dave Vine won.
Dave Vine.
No, it's insane. So I have an ace.
But also,
You do?
Cable ace.
yeah. We
congrats.
counted 1 Cable Ace Award. Oh, but I was going to say that also working with these celebrity actor stars, when you start working with them, you realize why they're stars.
Yeah.
They're really good. And you go, oh, yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Selena, at the end of this episode, you and Steve discover a gaming parlor in the bowels of the Arconia. What was it like to walk on that set for the first time?
I loved that set.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And then I just felt like I was in a different era. It just was, it felt so, I mean, our production designer.
Our production team is
it's
staggering.
unreal. You can't even tell you're on a set.
But I think that's one of the greatest sets of the 5 years.
Unreal. I mean, I didn't know it was there until halfway through the season, and John took me over to see it, and I lost my breath. Like, the lighting even in it is
Yes.
gorgeous. I know you dabble in magic. Did you do any tricks in that room?
Sure. I mean,
camera?
I actually do a passage. I mean, I do that when I'm practicing my cards in my little apartment. I'm doing stuff I did when I was 15.
I have videos of it.
You do?
Yeah.
But as an aside, just this week was my birthday. Yes. And yeah, and I worked. Did a one-day shoot at Disneyland for a show that's upcoming, and it took place in the magic shop where I worked when I was 15, on the very spot where I stood.
Wow.
So I had the feeling that I went to work and I was 15, and I came home and I was 80.
I want to just ask a bunch of questions as fast as we can.
All righty.
If you had to lose a finger, which one would it be and why?
My pinky, because I don't know.
Yeah, what do you do with it?
I don't know.
Yeah, right? Other than tea.
I did lose my middle finger.
Really?
Because whenever I get angry, I give someone the finger, and I
Yeah.
think it's rude.
That'd save a lot of fist
Steve,
fights.
you're practicing what
I'm
you...
practicing my banjo. I guess I could lose this because I plant. No, I don't really plant. I don't know. I could afford to lose 2. Actually.
2?
And you know, Jerry Garcia, who was a great, of the Grateful Dead, was a banjo player and had lost a finger.
Oh, interesting.
He played with 3 fingers.
Wow.
Just get you thinking, huh?
It's just thinking.
Steve, in this episode, you're all up on Lester's coffin. You're straddling it. You're crawling on it. How do you prepare for physical stuff like that?
I say, do you have a stunt man? No, I did it.
Yeah.
I think I did it all myself. You
did do it all
But you know, that's not like the old days we were jumping off a roof. It's you're just crawling up on a rounded, wooden, soft, velvety coffin.
Yeah, but you
Like
make
I do
it
at
funny.
home. What? Oh.
You make it funny.
And you do fall off the cup.
But how can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? I mean, it's not like a serious. Oh, I wept when you crawled on that coffin.
No, that's true.
Marty, you do very good Marlon Brando in this episode.
Thank you.
And then you travel to the Godfather house.
Yes.
What was it like filming in the Godfather house?
Well, it was kind of surreal because I'm so conditioned to thinking things are a set. It was hard to believe that was the actual house.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cozy. I liked it.
Mabel has lived in her aunt's apartment. She was squatting in the Dudenoff apartment, and now she has her very own. She's taken over the Dudenoff lease.
Yes.
Do you feel like she's growing up this season?
I sure hope so. Yeah, no, I think she's always been a little bit of a lost child inside a adult's body. And I think that's something that I feel she's growing out of, and now that she's established her own, I don't know, her own place, that could be a new chapter. I don't know, I don't read into it too much. I just think that she's just on her own.
Well, it's also, you know, I mean, Marty's character and my character are too old to change.
Right.
And Selena's character is perfect for change. And also, you have changed.
Yes.
And you bring that into your character, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I also think what's fabulous about the Mabel character are there are so many people her age, the character's age, that are lost right now. More so, I think, than any generation.
Oh, totally.
And so I think it's perfect writing for this kind of character.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's great.
What studies have you done on that? I'm curious.
Oh, you know, I read stuff.
This is more of a request than a question regarding your impressions. This is more of a request than a question. Would you do your Katharine Hepburn for me, because it makes me so happy?
I would. I'm very excited about season 5, as Spencer Tracy would have been were he alive.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here, all three of you.
Thank you.
I will see you soon. We'll check in with you later in the season, and I'm excited to see where the investigation takes us.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Right with you.
Howard, what's wrong?
Thank you for asking, Mabel. Now, a segment we call Michael Cyril Creighton on Howard Francis Morris. What I love about Howard in this episode is that he comes on strong, barging into Oliver's apartment without knocking, and it's echoing the beginning of season 4, when he walks into Charles's apartment without knocking and brings his dog Gravy. Everybody say hello to Gravy.
Gravy?
We learn that his pets have bonded, leaving him out, and now his beloved boyfriend, Jonathan, is on tour with Thoroughly Modern Millie. So I'm left alone with this pet couple who expect me to wait on them hand and paw. Hold on, how much shrimp do you have left? And that was Michael Cyril Creighton on Howard Francis Morris. You're welcome. With season 5 officially underway, there is one person we absolutely have to check in with. Our co-creator, our showrunner, our co-writer of episode 1, the director of episodes 1 and 2, the great and wonderful John Hoffman.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, John. What is it like to do it all and do it all so well?
Goodness, that's a very good question for someone else. No, I feel very, it's funny when you think about doing these things, because all you focus on is what's next, or what's straight up ahead, or what's down the road up ahead. You don't ever think about how you're doing them in some way. You're just sort of like knocking off the things as they come up, and it's sort of, okay, done, what's next? Then it starts to feel that hint of gratifying and like, wow, we did that thing. And
Totally.
So, very sweet.
The amount of trust in you is vast. I was actually telling another cast member, the biggest tell if someone is a killer or not is if they're always like, is John here? I just want to ask him a question. And then you go off and talk to them, and it's like,
Privately in a corner?
what's going on there? My eyes are always looking out for that, as you know. So directing, show running, these first 2 episodes you filmed at the same time, right? It was a block.
It was one block of 2 episodes that were completely different. You'll see in episode 2, complete shift, which we were very excited to make. So very, very different styles, which made shooting exciting, but also a little schizophrenic, because you're sort of, which one is this one? Oh, this is very different.
Buongiorno, signore!
Oh, this is how I die.
I know who you are, huh?
How did you land on the story for this season? So like we're exploring the mob, sort of the idea of the mob and what is the mob now in New York, but also who's really running the city?
The show has always been about classic meets modern, and that juxtaposition and clash in certain ways that New York has in spades. So it's very much like these 2 classic comedians meets the most modern of young women, and then join up for, something in an old pre-war apartment building where a podcast is happening. So the modern technology is already there. So it's all of that is infused in the show already. The whole idea of gambling with history is how it began to feel really intriguing to me. And plus the mob stuff and just revisiting what that looks like now.
Yeah.
And trying to sort of think like, well, what, it's been covered so much, but it hasn't been covered in a little while, I think.
Where are they at?
What's going on
Where's
with
the
them
mob
these
at?
days?
What are they
Exactly.
up to? Did you know when you introduced Téa Leoni's character last season, did you know where she was going?
We know a fair amount, but not everything at all. We learn things from watching the way in which the actors play the scenes.
Right.
So this little flirtation that's happening between Sophia and Charles at that elevator door, and him just, sort of catching eyes with her for a second. A missing husband she's asking them to find. So like, okay, that's all bizarre.
Yeah.
But it opened up a world for us that we thought could be both intriguing and funny. And again, I just try to sort of look at it through a lens of what can we do with something maybe familiar that we can subvert or we can make our own and do a spin that feels a little fresh, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
well, speaking of subverting, when we now see her again, Sophia, for the first time in season 5.
yeah.
So we see her, she's this femme fatale at the elevator. She's so put
Exactly.
together, really, really sultry and smoky. First time we see her in this episode
Yeah.
is in her Godfather house
Yes.
in Staten Island with 5 of the most ridiculous sons one could ever imagine. And she's disheveled. And I think, what does she say when she comes in? They're out of 3D Doritos, boys. They don't
That's
even make
right.
those anymore or something.
Yeah.
We see a completely different version of her.
Boys, the kid at Stop and Shop said they don't even make 3D Doritos anymore. I see you've met my sons.
I want to talk about the Cacciamilio house and how that all happened, because they're in the actual Godfather house.
Yes.
And then I want to talk about those boys.
Let's talk about those boys.
Yes, let's talk about those boys.
My favorites. They and Téa, everybody around that whole world in that episode. It was a real question whether we could, like, it was a swing, that scene. And I was like, this is going to be either whoop or whoop. And it all lived and breathed with Téa and those boys. And when I say boys, they're 30-year-old men.
Yeah, they're
so-
like 7 feet tall adult men.
Dane is, Johnny is 6'8".
Yeah.
Former basketball player in the EU. And he read first for these parts.
Oh, he did?
And he was immediately hysterical. I was like, well, how tall is he? And 6'8". I said, okay, then every other son has to be no shorter than 6'2".
Yeah.
And so, because they all have to now be. So, and I thought, well, that's a ridiculous thing to ask for.
Yeah.
Because how hard is that going to be to find? And then we got this collection of gentlemen who I couldn't believe it, because each one of them has their own universe of comedic, shrewd, smart acting ability. So,
Yeah.
like, I believed every one of them in the first part, and then I thought they were hilarious after. And just charmers, every one of them, and,
Yeah.
and really rare to find that.
Okay, boys. Get out of here. The adults need some space.
She's gonna throw it again.
Go along.
And they got along so well. They became buddies. They're
They're all
text
buddies
chain.
now.
They're like
Yeah,
real
yeah.
friends. You've created a family.
I like to do that as much
That's
as
what John
possible.
does.
It's my way. Yeah.
Without giving too much away, can you tease about what we're going to see from Sophia throughout the season?
Oh, good. Oh, she's fascinating to me. And Téa is particularly also fascinating in the way she works. I've loved her forever. Sophia holds layers of mysteries around her that play throughout the season, for sure. But I like, as you're saying, the subverting, like she's in, a football jersey and
Yeah. Disheveled and sort of,
a mom in Staten Island.
Yeah.
Living in this stupid house that, like, her husband bought her, doesn't even have the den, and so that sort of thing felt just fun to play with,
Right.
and real in a way. But when we rented the house where The Godfather was shot, we met the family that's living there now, and they're lovely and normal, and they have teenage
Italian?
daughters.
Are they Italian?
Oh, I don't even remember if they
Yeah.
are or not. Yeah, but I did learn one thing, that they were, that I believe the production of the original Godfather, as a thank you to the people who owned the house then for letting them shoot there, they built an in-ground pool
Really?
where the wedding was happening in the original
wow.
film. So I was fascinated with the pool out there.
And
Yeah.
did you filmed inside the house?
We filmed inside the house and outside the house.
Okay, so that wasn't a stage or anything when you were at the
No,
at the
can you believe it?
kitchen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Patrick Howe did an amazing job, and Mila, they're incredible, our art department, just in setting that room. That room did not look like what we made it to look like, but we were in the house.
Oh, it's perfect.
And Kyle, I have to say, Kyle, our brilliant DP, Kyle Wolfschlager, lit that with Noah and just shot it so beautifully. It's a good tip of the hat to the original with the way that table was lit up.
Yeah. There's a lot of tips of the hat to The Godfather. For example, the finger. Let's talk about the finger.
Guys, let's talk about the finger.
We got to talk about the finger.
I think the writers all season were like, are we really talking about the finger again? Because it was my favorite thing to keep bringing up. Guys, we have to track the finger.
The
like,
best.
Oh, we're going to buy the finger.
Absolute best line in the whole episode is when she talks about that's not Nicky's finger because his hands were very hairy, and that they once permed it. He once got a perm.
He once got them permed.
He once got them permed. That's what it is. Hilarious.
Thank you. I love that. I know that was. I think that was Taylor. She tip of the hat to Taylor Cox. The finger, when we realized that was going on, felt different for us. But what would you do? I like a what would you do moment.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you do with a thing like that? And how that can unspool over a season. Yeah. I hope we have fun with that in the right way.
Oh, I think it's great. I think the finger carries us through. Yes. The finger carries us through. The finger pays off. The
finger better pay off.
Shrimp is but the vessel for the heavenly cocktail sauce.
First of all, pretty gross to watch Marty lick sauce off of shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
But then when he's holding the finger, I do wish I could watch it with audiences because I wonder how long it takes people to zone in on the fact that that's what he's holding.
Wasn't it interesting?
Yeah.
We got the chance to watch it last night with a group of people.
Yeah.
A big group of people, and now most of them were there when we shot it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell, but I am really interested to see how long it takes people to. But I felt so happy with the way that scene all came together. It had been in my mind for a long time after having written it, and then sort of executing it with our brilliant prop department. Mm-hmm. Diana Burton leading, a prop department. That's a hard thing to do. Design a finger that's going to sit on the edge of a goblet.
Yeah.
It was color of that finger and the way in which it looked and felt, and that was just scientist work from our brilliant prop master. And but the actual execution of the scene, and Marty holding that, and he had done it earlier, so you don't think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious, and I just thought the way Selena and Steve played it too, and the slow dawning realization.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll say this to the joy of working with Kyle and our first AD, Cedric.
Yeah.
It was only about 2 days before we started shooting that scene where I said, I just don't know about I don't feel like there's enough of a button to this scene at the end of it. And I said, well, where does he, it had ended just him throwing the finger up in the air and it goes away. And then it was Kyle and Cedric suggesting, wait a minute, could it land on the piano?
Oh, wow.
And that it starts our plink, 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 plink.
Yeah, that is smart.
And I thought, well, that would be thrilling if we can swing that. And it was honestly hard to get that finger to drop on one of the keys and not fall off the piano. We had done it like 15 times.
Why does the shrimp you're holding have a fingernail?
We get introduced to our dear Lester's widow, Rainey, played by the great Diane Wiest.
You're the cuckoo chick.
Excuse me, I'm the cuckoo what?
Cuckoo chick.
How did Diane Wiest end up on our show?
Like everyone else does, I basically make a wish list of everyone I've ever loved, watching in my life. And she has been one of my favorites forever. And when it came up that we needed someone to play Lester's wife, we have to also think in terms of who else is in the show. So I knew we were going to have a moment where there'd most likely be an episode with Loretta and Marty upcoming, and there is one. And I knew that Rainey would be a part of that episode. So you have to also think like, well, who's going to be someone that Meryl is going to be excited about as well. And I brought it up to Meryl before. I said, I'm going to have a chat with Diane Wiest, and she just lit up. And she'd worked together with her once before, and Diane did the same thing. And so, I don't know. It's just this show has been ridiculous with the opportunities to work with heroes and heroines of TV and film for my whole life. So I keep asking the people who are reaches and
they keep saying yes.
Renee Zellweger, it's like they say yes.
Yeah.
And I can't say no.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled and hopefully we've done something worthy for them.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely have. Oh my gosh, Keegan-Michael Key. Keegan-Michael Key makes an appearance in this
Yes, he
episode.
does.
How fun to have him there.
You know what would be good? An endorsement. Between the three of you, you cover every demo. I mean, you're gay, right? Yeah.
I mean, Keegan is that kind of actor who I love because he's comedically drawn.
Yeah.
Like somebody else on the chair over there.
Me?
Comedically drawn who can also really connect to the heart and connect as a person, and that a recognizable sort of like, okay, that guy. And this was a tricky role because Keegan is playing the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And he's going
Anybody
to be
can play the mayor of New York.
Exactly.
As we've learned.
Exactly. And he is brilliant, but sly and sharp and smart about the
very,
way.
very precise. It was fun watching Keegan. Every joke landed. There was not one moment wasted. He's really fun as that mayor.
Just fantastic.
Right? So this episode ends with a big reveal.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I know.
Do you remember?
Of the big reveals
Oh,
throughout the season.
This is the biggest reveal in the first episode, and it's a little secret underneath the Arconia.
2, back to back.
Yes, two
big reveals
huge big
back.
reveals. The first big reveal is the casino,
Yes.
which is breathtaking.
Isn't it something?
It's unreal.
Patrick Howe just outdid himself with
Killed
his
it.
team on that casino. And when we first walked in, I thought, in the writer's room back in the day, we thought, okay, there's this little secret room, but down there below.
Right.
And then this came about. First of all, it's a spectacular place just to shoot. So you could easily just sit there gabbing away as we did, in that space, just, at a craps table for hours with famous people.
It's actually
while
where we
we're not
had our
shooting.
rap party.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lot of fun.
That was incredible. That history of the Arconia has always been a part of the show. Mm-hmm. And once we understood that many pre-war apartment buildings from the turn of the century, as this one was, the Belnord was, they all had stables underneath on the lower levels, underneath in the basement levels, originally. So what to do with those stables became a question for buildings almost immediately at the dawn of the automobile. That became part of the intrigue, and knowing that everything had to be a bit guided by one sentence that Sophia Cacciamilio says at the end of the previous season. My husband's disappearance has everything to do with this building.
Yes.
So that opened up for the writers and all of us together to sort of say, what is the real answer of that? So making this casino that Nikki's family had taken over, as New York is filled. We were talking about someone, I was at the rap party last night and Bobby Cannavale said, I'm going off to see a friend, he's at the Carlisle. I'm like, he's at the Carlisle.
Yeah.
It's like this rich tradition of these spaces in New York.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be cool.
Right.
And so that's what we started to think about with this.
Yeah, so there's that
space.
casino. That's the first big reveal. We'll be in there quite a bit this season, correct?
Hello. Very much
Second
so.
reveal, huge reveal. There's a dry cleaner inside the Arconia. I had no idea.
I know.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
My apartment building has in the basement a boiler room and 3 laundry, like 3 dryers and washing machines.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Arconia has a dry cleaner and a casino, what the hell?
Okay, so the dry cleaner is its own business. So, you know what I mean? Like, I lived in a building in Chelsea when I first started making the show at the London Terrace.
Oh, the London Terrace. You live there?
I lived there for the first season,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And then it's very much modeled like that. So the whole block is taken up by the Arconia. The whole block is taken up by the London Terrace. But there are businesses that are all along the base of those buildings. So in my mind, and what we decided to do was, Cleanup's Dry Cleaners is on the opposite side of the street from the one we've known with the arches and the beautiful entryways to the Arconia. So he has to go all the way around the building to that little business that's outside. So it's in the Arconia technically, and lo and behold, as we will discover, there is direct connection through vents, as we'll soon discover, but also a dry cleaner that Nicky Cacciamilio owned, where Nicky Cacciamilio comes to an end.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's how we end episode 1, with lots of reveals and a dry cleaner in the Arconia. Tune in for episode 2, and John Hoffman, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for making this show, for being the best, and for making us all look so good.
Thank you. I'm thrilled you're doing this, Michael, because no one represents this show better than the greatest character actor find of Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, maybe next episode we'll talk about how you found me.
Oh, good.
But honestly, I would not want to host a video podcast for anything but this show. I could talk about it forever. I'm so proud to be part of it, and I'm so glad that you are our leader.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it.
You're
I'm a very
welcome.
lucky guy.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't already, why don't you subscribe and follow us wherever you're listening or watching from. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Only Murders in the Building Season 5 are out now, which means episodes 1, 2, and 3 of the podcast are out too. And on our next episode, you'll hear from Jackie Hoffman, aka the Arconia's resident ray of sunshine, Uma. We will also talk to Emery Cohen and Teddy Kaluka, 2 actors donning the doorman cap and gloves of Lester this season. Until next time, don't get murdered. Watch and listen to the Only Murders in the Building official podcast, available on Hulu and wherever you get your podcasts. And don't miss Only Murders in the Building, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.